Hello everyone and welcome to this special edition of Lawfully Creative Live brought to you by Crefovi. I'm Annabelle Caperti, the founding and managing partner of Crefovi, and I'm thrilled to have you join us today for a deep dive into the business of sports, focusing on the new trends, legal challenges and opportunities shaping this fast-moving sector in 2025. We'll explore who's investing in sports today, the surge of private equity, sovereign wealth funds, and family offices, how regulation, ownership, and competition law are transforming the landscape, the impact of digital disruption, streaming data and tech, how clubs and investors can navigate disputes and compliance. Please use the Q&A feature throughout and we'll have time for your questions at the end. So who is investing in sports today? Let's start with the money. Over the past decade, the sports industry has seen a dramatic influx of new capital, not just from traditional club owners or broadcasters, but from private equity firms, sovereign wealth funds, and global family offices. Private equity is targeting sports franchises as high-value, non-cyclical assets. For example, we've seen major investments by Silver Lake, CVC, and Redbird in football, rugby, and media rights. These firms are drawn by operational efficiencies, fan engagement, and rapidly growing media revenues. Sovereign wealth funds, particularly from the Middle East, like Qatar, Sports Investments, Abu Dhabi, United Group, and Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, are not just seeking financial returns, but soft power and international branding. Global family offices are increasingly involved, attracted by diversification and the unique intersection of sports, entertainment, and tech. What's driving this capital? Global reach, passionate fan bases, expanding broadcast, and streaming rights. So let's have a look now at regulation, ownership, and competition law. With new capital come new risks and regulatory scrutiny. Let's talk about the legal landscape. Multi-club ownership is now common, with investors building portfolios across different leagues and countries. For example, the City Football Group, which is based in Manchester, New York, Melbourne, and Mumbai, the Red Bulls network, and the growing involvement of Middle Eastern capital in European clubs. This creates legal challenges, competition law risks, conflict of interest, and regulatory restrictions. UEFA's Article 5 rules prohibit two clubs under common control from competing in the same continental competition. The Manchester City FFEP Fair Play Rules investigation and the Red Bull Leipzig-Salzburg case show just how live these issues are. Minority versus majority shareholder disputes are also rising, often around club strategy, valuation, and rights allocation, making arbitration increasingly important for confidential and foreseeable outcomes. How should investors and clubs prepare? Legal due diligence, robust shareholder agreements, clear compliance with league and competition law rules. So, digital disruption, streaming, data, and tech, our third section. No conversation about the business of sports is complete without looking at digital transformation. Streaming rights now sit at the heart of club and league valuations. Deals with Netflix, Amazon, and Apple are reshaping how fans access live sports, driving up media revenues and sparking new legal and commercial challenges. Data is a double-edged sword. It's a competitive asset, but also raises privacy and compliance risks. especially with athlete biometrics and fan engagement analytics and regulations like GDPR. Blockchain and digital assets. Clubs are experimenting with NFTs, fan tokens, and new engagement tools, but these bring regulatory uncertainty around IP, consumer protection, and financial conduct. Is your organization ready for the legal implications of digital disruption? So let's have a look now at resolving disputes and navigating compliance. Disputes are inevitable with more stakeholders and higher stakes. Arbitration is on the rise, with a court arbitration for sport, CAS, playing a crucial role in salary, governance, and competition disputes. Recent years have also seen widespread legal challenges, such as those against FIFA's 2 to 3% cap on agent fees. Plaintiffs cite competition law, proportionality, and national enforcement complexity, resulting in a patchwork of outcomes. Learning from commercial arbitration, we see tools like the Redfern schedule and expedited processes being increasingly adopted in sports. ESG and compliance, well, sports organizations must align anti-doping, match fixing, and financial governance with global compliance standards. How can clubs and investors future-proof their approach? Prioritize compliance, embrace alternative dispute resolution, and stay on top of regulatory change. So what does this mean for you, stakeholder in the sports industry? What are the practical takeaways? Well, you need to invest in legal due diligence and proactive compliance for any new transactional partnership. It's also important to ensure that contracts are robust and anticipate regulatory and digital disruption. Also, for cross-border deals, you need to work with lawyers who know both local and international frameworks. And it's also important to make dispute resolution, including arbitration and mediation, central to your legal strategy. And you need also to stay informed on emerging legal trends in digital, ESG, and global regulation. So what's the biggest legal risk you're facing in your sports business today? How about we do a poll and you let us know? You can reach us on all our social media handles, Twitter at Crefovi, LinkedIn at Crefovi, and Instagram at Crefovi. And so we invite questions from the audience. Okay, great. So thank you for joining us. And if you have more questions, please type them in the chat or reach out directly via our website or LinkedIn. And don't forget to subscribe to the Lawfully Creative podcast and newsletter for ongoing insights, and check out our latest newsletter and event recaps for more on these topics. We look forward to connecting with you at our next live webinar or in the comments. Have a wonderful day. Cheerio.